Ну да, погнали, продолжаем играть в консул. The Console. Первый эпизод мне понравился. Давайте второй посмотрим, что там будет. Будет ли так же интересно, как в первом. Ну, первый... Он был коротенький, на 3 часа, но создал, мне кажется, атмосферу какую-то правильную. Эта история, скорее всего, выдумана. Задание игры забыть.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Соберите все страницы манускрипта, чтобы прочитать его. Okay. Эрудиция, манипулирование, политика. Ну, мы, так как я назвал стрим, мы будем манипулировать людьми. Будем учиться манипулировать людьми. Кабинет лорда Мортимера, 22 января 1793 года. The Council. Эпизод 2. Прятать и прятаться.
Please do.
Прятаться и
I
искать.
wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. However, there may be some new developments, but I don't know if they are linked to your mother. We have found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room. I'm afraid she was brutally murdered, stabbed several times.
Who could have done it?
That is precisely what I would like you to help us determine, Louis. Duchess Hillsborough informed us that she accompanied you at the beginning of the evening. You apparently bumped into Miss Adams, who wanted to speak to you. We are told you turned her away, and she went away on her own.
That's correct.
Do you know what she wanted to see you about, by any chance?
Она была в панике.
She seemed upset about something. I thought she was under the influence of alcohol, but we didn't really speak.
Адамс убит.
The poor child was
И мы в
probably
этом
trying to find
виноваты.
help.
А так бы убили
I thought it could wait until tomorrow.
Лизу.
Apparently not.
Ну, не Лиза, а какая.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why's that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted
Элизабет,
you.
да. Эли.
Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer.
Но я
I
есть
want to
нож.
know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Да, конечно.
How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Так. Узнать подробности, спросить. Простите, подробно.
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi, so I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe.
А все виноват
They were
ваш.
tired and went up to bed.
Ну, ладно, тогда я пойду, наверное.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
Нам разрешено осмотреть комнаты гостей, что прекрасно. Обязательно это сделаем. После того, как осмотримся здесь, в кабинете. Мортимер... Нет. А чё неизвестно последнее? Слабость психология. Да, Мортимера. Ну, конечно, все осмотрим в кабинете Мортимера.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
По. Давайте первую букву изменим. До. Ма. Давайте посмотрим, изменим вторую букву. Де. Бе. Пе. Папа. Папа. Па. Папа.
Which four-letter word could
Не,
open
папа
this
не
chest?
сработал. Зе... Сеть. Есть, нет? Хрен его знает. Дама. Не. Ладно, пока еще. Пока еще не знаем точно. Берем. Но ее жестко избивали. Так, а потом убили. Может, это мать сделала? Все нечисто в этом раю. Все неспокойно. Шкатулка не откроется. Папа нас преследует, все время где-то стоит за спиной монетка. А, нет.
Dante's
просто-
Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
Может, у папы есть какая-то информация?
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing. One last thing. You must know that Peru hit young Adams on the evening of our arrival. He apparently violently attacked her in the small salon.
Do you know anything else about the attack?
Oh, unfortunately not. I arrived too late to intervene. Young Miss Adams had already been submitted to the foul lout's wrath.
Папа,
Otherwise,
папа,
you
почему
can
же ты
believe
не
it
защитил?
would not have happened.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
Ну, медок.
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781.
Ночь. Но вот там нету вроде.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
А есть гласная? Нет. До, да, де... Дева.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Не, дева тоже не подходит.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Пакт. И пакт тоже не подходит. Я слышу птиц. Вардо. Может, он что-то... Может, еще с ним могу говорить.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
I'll be in touch as soon as I have any more information.
Мне кажется, да, если я даже знаю убийц, ну вот, и скажи ему сейчас, он скажет, а где ваши доказательства? Какие ваши доказательства? Я скажу, ну, типа, я чувствую так.
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
Монетка. Я хрен его знает, но мы не уйдем, пока не вскроем этот сундук.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Зевс. Из. Заметки. Мы получили рукопись заметки лорда Мортимера. Где я его могу почитать? Хрен его знает, короче. Может, журнал. Я не знаю, куда они добавились, но... Убийца дворецкий.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No, nothing special.
Ну и шо, подозрительно.
I'd have thought this is not really the shortest way to get to your suite.
Yes, I wasn't really looking where I was going. I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Хрен его знает. Погнали. Будем ломиться в каждую комнату, которую сможем. Че он делал около этой комнаты? Ну, все виноват. Я здесь уже был. А, вот и труп. Ну, Соряныч. Я же не знал, что тебя убьют. Да, тебя избили, но что поделать? Они уже здесь. Интересно, ее можно было засейвить как-нибудь? Или если бы я пошел, я бы узнал, что от меня надо? Информация не стоила свеч. Я уверен, что где-нибудь спрятана какая-нибудь информация. От нее же. Изучить руки.
No wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol. No marks or bruising around the wrists. It doesn't look like she was tied up or held by force. Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs. The direction of the blood streaks caused by the wounds to the thorax show that she was standing when she lost blood. This proves that she was standing when she was assassinated, possibly held by someone or something. More tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body.
Мне кажется, это сделал поп.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death. It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle, as if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth. Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by.
Жестко.
It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body. I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that.
Вот, она...
That's torture.
Ее пытали, ей и так было тяжело жить на свете. Она сходила с ума, так что смерть успокоила, избавила ее от мук жизни.
What a strange smell. She bled from the nose. There are signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising. There are signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising.
Так, хорошо. Торс, руки изучили, ноги изучили, голову. Ну, смотрите,
There are
руку.
numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
Это на руке? Да, это на руке. Потом значение порезов, сложность психология.
People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control.
Так.
Scarring, ugh. Scarring isn't very regular, but they're mostly from old cuts.
Мы вроде все изучили.
Poor girl bled to death. Whoever left that
След.
footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's a size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe.
Вашингтон. Надо узнать 48 размера. А вот нож, который мы убили.
The handprint on the handle is really small. I can't imagine a man with a hand that size. It must be from a woman's hand.
Но с нами была женщина, она не могла ее убить. Не хочу. Жалко, что... А, смотри.
The blade is short and thin. Well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood. Still
Я не
fresh.
помню, это как его...
The lower part of the
Элизабет
handle
нам
is
этим ножом
unsullied by blood.
угрожала или
The
нет?
murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand. Knocked over a
бухала.
bottle of wine. What kind of plonk is that? Hey, it's a Bordeaux. That's a Chateau de Briand. It's a great wine. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable. Blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Мне кажется, Бонапарт во всем виноват. Хотя Бонапарт... Не знаю.
Vials of laudanum.
Опиум.
The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved. A pentagram? What the hell's been going on here? I wonder if Elizabeth's death has anything at all to do with this pentagram. If a ritual went wrong and degenerated, Elizabeth would probably have been killed in the center of the pentagram, not 3 meters from here. That's strange. A pentagram? What the hell's been going on here? Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual? clock stopped at 3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime. That would clear Emily de facto because she was still with me at the time.
Именно ни при чем, но у нее есть сестра, так что. Так что и Эмили, возможно, участник
A
преступления.
notebook written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out. June 11th, 17.
Это мы читали. Там что еще лежит?
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear. The color doesn't correspond to Emily's black outfits, and Elizabeth doesn't have anything quite like this in her wardrobe. Let's take a closer look. It's a little dirty. It must come from the bottom of the dress where it touches the ground. I recognize that moire pattern. It's the same as the travel dress my mother was wearing when she left. Why the hell did she come into this room?
Мамка. Пистолет, который мы нашли ну, как его, позже.
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light.
Huh.
A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France.
Освободителем Франции.
There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded, and well, there's no traces of gunshot residue.
Может, у Бонапарта
I
сперли его
conclude that
пистолет.
it hasn't been used recently. Right. I shall have to find its owner.
Так, выйти на балкон мы не можем, да? Не можем. Да вроде бы все осмотрел. Ладно. Окей, я согласен.
Has finished with this room?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has finished with this room?
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Блин, мне так сканера не хватает в Death Stranding. Обожаю сканировать в играх всякое дерьмо. А, побежали расследовать.
A map of Vermont. portrait of George Washington. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Мне еще нужно 3 янтаря, чтобы левелапнуться.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
The English and the Americans are preparing a peace treaty. It would appear that Emily is in secret discussion with Washington about reopening trade between the United States and England. If such an arrangement came into being, France would suffer dearly. A map of Connecticut. A map of Vermont.
И давайте поговорим с Вашингтоном, так и быть. То он стоит, как-то смотрит в окошко печально.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Он сказал мистер
Lord Mortimer
Президент.
has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Are you all right, Mr. President? Are you feeling all right?
Oh, don't worry. It's this rotten toothache. What do you expect? I'm no spring chicken now.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes. She came to ask me
Ты
for
же не знал,
some.
что она жива.
She had finished her reserve, I believe.
А ты принимаешь шопи?
Do you take it regularly, Mr. President?
Unfortunately, I do, Louis. I still suffer from a terrible toothache, and it's not likely to get any better.
Боль, ага.
It's just for that, then.
Old age, my young friend. I don't wish it upon you, but you'll soon see. At my age, it's rare to have no problems in that domain.
Ну, с этим
And
согласен.
do you take a lot?
A moderate amount, Louis. Only the dosage indicated on the prescription of my doctor.
Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr.
Ну,
President?
разбила головную
She
боль.
said she had terrible migraines
Ну, да.
that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the
Yeah.
migraines.
Голоса ее преследовали, а нет.
Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured, it looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
Зацепка.
Greetings, Louis.
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Perry, but that case was closed, if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened. and I'd go and question your fellow
Мы
countrymen.
тоже? А, не свои
Don't
права.
worry. Countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks.
Да, никого не оставлю без внимания.
I shan't keep you any longer, Mr. President.
Feel free, Louis. If there's anything I can do, just ask.
Thank you, Mr. President.
My dear George,
Монетка? Монетка.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Huh, that's me.
Это моя комната. Лол.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. T.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds, painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting. A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
2 coils circle the lock.
Ну, письмо.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know, he is already doing business with Lord Mortimer. It will be more difficult to approach him. Napoleon Bonaparte was unknown to me until today. He's a passionate young French soldier for whom Mortimer predicts a promising future. Take heed. He is a man of conviction, which to my mind makes him potentially dangerous. As for Sarah de Richet, what more is there to say? You already know each other. She was apparently invited by Lord Mortimer about an ongoing matter in Paris that concerns a receiver in stolen art. See you soon. Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
All right, I've retrieved everything.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prince of Devil's Thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Ну что, будем скрывать, да. Дай попробуем.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Death came quickly. You can be assured of that.
If such a senseless act can happen here, then none of us is truly safe anywhere. Lord Mortimer must be mortified that one of his guests could have committed such an act, don't you think?
He is indeed very upset about it. It's only natural after such a violent murder.
Violent? What do you mean?
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times.
Oh my God, Louis. How awful. The murderer must have had a serious grudge against her to set upon her like that. It must have been a crime of passion. Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Since your arrival, did you notice anything strange about Elizabeth?
Everything that happened around that poor child was strange. You saw that for yourself.
I know. You're right.
Да.
I'm looking for leads to try to reduce the number of suspects.
Well, I would say that in addition to ourselves, you could also cross off President Washington. I went to see him during the night. I had some business with him, and I can confirm that he didn't leave his room all night.
That gives Washington an alibi.
Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. Gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check with you.
Надеюсь.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
Надеюсь, что это не
Thank you.
поворот из ниоткуда.
Are you all right? You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the scene.
Thank you, Emily. Tell me, Emily, what's the nature of your relationship with Washington?
Oh, come off it, Louis. You're not going to go into a jealous rage, are you?
No, I can assure you of that. That has nothing to do with it. You're preparing a treaty to break the ties between the United States and France.
Whatever are you talking about, Louis?
I read your correspondences, Emily.
It's not what you think. So don't go thinking there's anything personal in it.
Are you trying to break Franco-American agreements, Emily?
That's the job, Louis. We're all doing everything we can to serve the best interests of our nation.
Йоу, я из
It's got
Франции.
nothing to do with you or us.
But why didn't you tell me about it before?
Would you have told me?
Я бы рассказал.
We found the murder weapon.
What is it?
A dagger, quite slim.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching as it happens. That said, since a blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
The handprint was a very slender hand, Emily. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island.
А может быть,
Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Keep up your courage, Louis. I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
If what you say is true, Emily, I'm less and less enthusiastic about shedding any light on the subject. I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
ну или моя мама, или Бонапарт, короче, застрелили. Элизабет. Вроде ничего не пустил.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you. Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried.
Но Бонапарт же низкий был. Почему он такого же роста, как и мы? А психология на него не работает, да? Не, убеждение, политика.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. It must surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation would be finished already. Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked
I
me
know.
to...
You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you.
Сколько делать?
What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly.
Мне нужно
As for
время.
me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight, so I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No. Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave. Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day. My dearest son. Just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the high society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue.
Да. Это я видел.
It's a beautiful weapon. Lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Monsieur de Riche, please be quick. We are both very busy. Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Ну, может, наша мать вас не виновата.
What do you want from me, de Riche?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
Психология работает на достаточно большое количество людей.
I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
A pattern with 4 circles.
У меня есть из 4 кругов. А или нет? О, много меда и писем. Точнее, мед, тут 2 херни и писем.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well.
Снова будет ходить.
Will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready.
Да здравствует Франция, сестра Марии и
I'll
Елена.
never thank you enough.
И Марии, и
Long live the
Елена.
Republic.
Лучшая
Long
женщина,
live
наверное.
France. Sister Marie-Hélène.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Dear Monsieur Peru,
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Dear Monsieur Peru.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. Two days ago, I surprised you having a go at Miss Adams. What happened? Did you want to give her another beating? She wouldn't let you push her around again, huh?
Shut up, you little shit! You have no idea what happened, and here you are, carping away.
А из-за
You
счета
think
дал?
you're investigator of the year. Have you taken a look at yourself, Dorishe?
Didn't you get enough beating her black and blue the last time?
I did not.
Подловить.
Why?
Nothing. Get away from me.
Just as soon as you stop treating me like I'm an idiot. If you wanted people to think you were guilty, you couldn't have done any better. So cut the bullshit and come clean now.
I can't! He'll come for revenge.
Who?
Кто?
No one! Just shut your trap, goddammit! Yes, I was there. Yes, I walked in her blood. You've got all you need to wrap it up. Now scram!
Блин. Он меня выгнал. И все у него смотрел. Но он виноват во всем.
A few leaves out of an old
О,
encyclopedia.
ключ с полукольцом. Надо вернуться к трупу. Да, там был ее ящик с полукольцом. Где-то, где этот, как его? Где чувачок стоит?
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Где слуга?
President George Washington. A chest with a half-circle pattern.
Я могу взломать, но у меня есть ключ. О, янтарь. И письмецо.
An untutored hand copied these notes. Looks like a healing method. Well, that's a pity. The writing is barely legible.
Только что я едва могу почитать, что написано. Загадочные заметки. Нет, как его? Журнал. Я не знаю, где смотреть заметки. У меня здесь нет, как его, не добавляется. Ладно. Да побежим в другую сторону, потому что там ближе. Нет, здесь я вроде еще не был.
The signs of obscurantism.
Книжка. Хортус Делисио. О, медишка. О, зелье.
Golden elixir. The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth. But that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
Стояли в одном пульте.
A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart. Chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Сейчас.
The alchemist is a young man. The signs of the zodiac.
Может, теперь дева подойдет. Что письма?
The Sorrows of Young Werther.
Вертера.
There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant.
So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth. But that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
Table of alchemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol.
Zinc.
A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Странные заметки. Монетка.
A drachma.
Drachma.
A fragment of amber.
The alchemist is an old man.
What can I do for you, Derichet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Did you see how many tattoos Miss Adams had on her?
Of course. Who wouldn't have noticed?
Yes, but I'm sure that an expert like yourself must have an opinion on the subject.
I do. She was seeking to imprison something inside her. Her own body had become a sort of prison.
She wanted to protect herself. Is that what you're saying?
Elizabeth was a flame, a candle in the night. And like all candles in the night, she was surrounded by darkness, by her demons. Call it what you will. One thing is for sure. She struggled against hell and high water, not to let her flame go out.
Страдаешь.
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth. No.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure, and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now.
Я понял. Пережак. Слабость уклонения. А, не говорит слабость какая?
You loved her, didn't you?
That is none of your damn business.
Your feelings betray you, sir.
So what? Yes, I loved her like a moth loves the flame of a candle. That's why we could never be together.
Exactly how long had you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's only been a few weeks.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship? You or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agreed.
Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is true. So, tell me.
All right. It was passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
Понял. Да, он играл в картишки.
We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Я не верю, что он убил. Ну, конечно, может быть из-за того, что она хотела остаться с ним. Хотя у него тоже сапоги норм... А, ну, сапоги... Мы узнали, кого сапоги. Но что он там делал, не сказал. Нас вышвырнули. Валим отсюда.
Jacques Perru?
А к Жак Перу нельзя зайти. Почему? Как Наполеону, у Наполеона уже были. Почему перерыва нет? Или мы были у перерыва? Сейчас, подождите. Переужак. Да, мы были у перерыва, понятно. Пойдем поговорим с священником. Он же у себя, хотя нет, он наверху. Но мы осмотрим его жилище, скромное жилище.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
Герой Иоганн.
How can I help, monsieur?
Больше ничего.
We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Мне кажется, я бегаю кругами. Хотя нет. Сюда нельзя. Вы на первый этаж сходим. Мы не можем на первый этаж. Понял.
Monseigneur, his eminence.
Пьядж.
Cardinal Piaggi.
Ну, кардинал, ну да. Ну, валим тогда наверх, я не знаю. Мы все узнали, все, что мы могли. Где там великая лестница наверх?
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Так. У меня есть догадки, но я не хочу выносить приговор.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way.
What?
Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Мне кажется,
She
опять
seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
I'd like to answer the cat, but unfortunately I'm increasingly worried that she's, in fact, the mouse.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the canon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me.
Моя мать подала оружие?
Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
Видимо, без понятия. Понятно.
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
Да не,
As head of
просто
the
мне,
order,
я просто
secrets
приехал
are her
спустя
bread and butter, as you can imagine.
полгода.
That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip.
Просто
And
пропал
it
лол.
intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Она сошла с ума, она что, обнаружила? Она избегает встречи с кем-то?
Her not coming back to the manor after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Wollner, and myself.
Кто-то из вас. Может, мисс Адамс? Мисс Адамс.
You forget Elizabeth Adams, my lord.
That's true. But Gregory and I arranged it so that they wouldn't run into each other. I thought it had worked. Do you think that your mother felt she was in danger because of Elizabeth?
It's possible.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
О чем вы с ней
You
разговаривали?
seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we like to share points of view about practically anything.
Выкладывай инфу. Мне надо
We
знать,
find
кто моя
ourselves
мать,
embarked
на
on
самом деле.
interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
The armistice between the Russians and the Turks. Russia's come out of it having officially won Crimea, which gives it direct access to the Black Sea.
And at the same time, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm worried about the decisions Tsarina Catherine might decide to take. She's a woman who managed to get rid of her husband to accede to the upper reaches of power. Gaining access
такая вот
to the
волевая
Mediterranean Sea
женщина у
remains
нас
her
была.
main objective. When she still had that dear Potemkin as her lover, I could always find out about her intentions, but those days are over.
У меня есть только один выбор.
Please, excuse me, but I'm not very familiar with the Russian nobility.
Но я знаком.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Я ничего не знаю, Кристоф, походу. Я просто дебил.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Oops.
Excuse me, but between
Мамка
that
все
and the
испортила.
childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave
Мамка
me
поехала башкой.
until
Что
the day
делать?
came when she purely
Потом
and
потеряла
simply
руку, ее избили, и
disappeared.
она почему-то стояла с пистолетом.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Пойду в подвал.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Отлично.
Thank you.
One last thing, although I don't know if there is a connection.
I'm listening.
A gate was forced the other night near the wharf. Nothing serious, just a few small things damaged.
Ну, я не хочу признавать вину. Ну и да, я ломанул, ну да, но еще ты не сделаешь. Да пошел ты.
I see. I might be about to find a trace of her passage. Sorry, Mother, but I don't want him on my back. You'll have to take the blame for me.
I can't see how Sarah could have done this, but then I can't think of any other solution either.
Вот и я.
Take a closer look.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest.
Ну и правда, последний гость. Как Холм Грегори. Почему она все еще жива?
Meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Мы же в этом эпизоде сможем спуститься на пристань? Не зря же пристань делали.
The room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
Дверь прямо напротив кабинета Мортимера. Башенная комната.
There are burnt papers in the chimney.
Обгорел бумаги.
There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting.
Ого.
She says we
Нужно
must
найти
find a
более
safer way
безопасный
to
способ
communicate.
общаться. Кто-то
Someone is
напал на наш
onto
свет.
us.
Положит
Trust
мою
in my
веру
faith in the
в
man with the
мечника.
sword. So mother had an accomplice here.
Ну кто?
Who could it be?
Мечник — это Бонапарт, наверное.
Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Dante's Paradise.
Right.
Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too.
Фига себе, теперь можно
Paul
отматывать
facing an
картины.
ordeal, the curtain of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his savior.
Взломать.
Door appears to be locked on the other side.
Открыть.
I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
Да,
Open
ломай
sesame.
дочь.
It's open.
Веру в мученика. Ну и мученик был Иисус.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword.
О, с мечом в руке.
Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame.
Вообще надо.
Let's take a closer look.
Так,
This
Павел
is how
говорил с
Paul
паломниками
spoke to
Израиля.
his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting
11.
and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure?
Почему он при той же херне говорит ту же херню? 11, окей. Запомнили.
Amber crystals.
А?
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Ginko. Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Ginko. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. It's St. John, painted by Ginko.
Я не знаю про деяния апостолов.
The New Testament.
Новый Завет. Деяния святых апостолов. От Матфея, от Луки. Через соборное послание Откровения Иоанна Богослова. Прочесть первую часть послания Павла. Ну давайте. К римлянам, к коринфянам. Давайте к коринфянам. Бля. 11, нам нужно 11 стих. 11 стих, 11
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is
Два
come
раза
to the
подчеркнуто,
Gentiles,
вот 11.
for to provoke them to jealousy. Oh, wait, a note from Mother is carefully
О,
folded between
записанка.
the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply. Hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
Самый молодой из апостолов, я не помню. Павел? Нет, подожди.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Ginko. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Я не могу взломать это дерьмо. Это дерьмо слишком жесткое. 7 уровень там, или хер его знает. А, или подожди, или могу.
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Раз, два, три, 4, 5, 6. Нет, не могу. Мне не хватает меца.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come? This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it.
Я знаю,
While
где.
a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
4.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must
4,
ripen
11.
in our rays.
Может еще 4, 11.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Ginko. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
4.
Then came together unto him the
Не хотел, не
Pharisees
хотел, не
and certain
хотел.
of the scribes,
Блядь.
which came from Jerusalem. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Hereby know that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Spirit.
Ян Богослов.
Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He's the 13th apostle. There's nothing worth noticing here. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years. Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Блин, я не знаю иврит.
No, nothing of value here. There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust.
8.
8 in all.
Интересная записка с молодым из апостолов.
What is this disc?
Диск. Круглый магнит. Может быть, за большим, типа магнит.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
4. Так, за картиной, да?
The painting looks like it's been taken down recently.
Недавно сняли.
What was it my mother said? That she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle. Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
1 слева, 3 справа.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies? There's nothing worth noticing here. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years. No, nothing of value here.
Нет, здесь ничего нет сам. Ладно, мы уходим. Я не знаю. Я не знаю, слишком сложно.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. St. Paul painted by Guido Reni.
Вот молится на апостола.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Павел, пробил мозг.
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Жалко, что
St.
подсказки
Paul
никуда не
is the only
складываются.
saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
Может у книги есть какой-нибудь ключ?
This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
Прочесть.
A volume of the Gutenberg Bible.
Один слева, 3 справа. Или 1 слева, 2 справа.
And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore.
Мне кажется, это мы не все из книги 2 стих 11. 4 стих.
Hereby know that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Spirit.
Знаете что? Мы начнем с нижнего Ёб твою мать, как много. Но
But
мы
that
прощупаем
which
всё.
beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing,
Прокликаем
whose
всё.
end is to be burned. Here's a message. There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent.
Как удачно.
What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul. Thou hast put all things under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him. Follow peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. Whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who think only of earthly things. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Even as it is meet for me to think this of you all, because I have you in my heart, inasmuch as both in my bonds, and in defense and confirmation of the gospel, ye all are partakers of my grace. Do all things without murmurings and disputes. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind. Honor thy father and thy mother, as this is the first commandment. In him God has chosen us before the foundation of the world, that we may be holy and blameless before him. For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Да боже мой! Слишком много. Подожди. Она пишет, нужно найти более безопасный способ общаться, кто-то напал на наш след. Положить на мою веру и в мечника. То есть первую часть послания Павла, прочесть послание к римлянам, прочесть глава 11, стих 11. Рад, что вы нашли записку, я прижал. Прочесть вторую часть послания Павла. Так. Там, где никто не найдет срочно. Я самым молодым из апостолов. Павел сам, но он не... Послание к римлянам, посланием к евреям. Первую часть, вторую часть. Послание к евреям. Понял, что считает лишь деяние, он вернулся назад. Апостол Павел вернулся назад.
This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind.
Когда апостол Павел понял, что считается лишь деяние, он вернулся назад. Буду ждать вашего ответа после того, как в левой руке последует новый назвал. Я даже не представляю, о чем они. Не могу выйти, пока я не разгадаю загадку, окей. Ну, это много...
Dante's paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Коринфяне.
For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. If we have hope in Christ in this life only, we are, of all men, most miserable.
Подождите. Второе послание к Коринфянам. Давайте с первым разберемся.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Глава 6.
For we are unto God a sweet savor of Christ, in them that are saved, and in them that perish.
Шестой стих, 8. Шестой, прочти вторую часть, по-моему. Первую группу к Марку, который даст долгожданный ответ, прочти вторую часть. Некоторые трудности, просто так Павел понял, что считает лишний день, он вернулся назад.
For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
Глава 7, стих какой-то. Глава 7, стих.
For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem.
Не 7 стих. От Марка. Группа к Марку. Последняя за первой группы к Марку, которая даст.
And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan.
Да ёп.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Да ёп. Петра. Что там было про Петра? Павел.
Or what man is there of you, whom, if his son ask bread, will he give him a stone? Take heed that ye practice your justice before men, to be seen differently by them. Otherwise, ye shall have no reward of your Father which is in heaven.
Корифяну. Корифянам. Комар, который даст награжден ответ, как это. Когда апостол Павел, он вернулся назад. Он вернулся назад.
But though we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed.
Я не могу, это шифр слишком сложный для меня. Стих 25.
For ye were as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your souls.
Давайте подумаем. 11:11, 6:7, 6:8, 6:9. Или 7:6.
Then they suborned men, which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God.
Не, хульные слова не помогли. Иоанна нету, только Павел. К римлянам, первое послание к Коринфянам, 22.
For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But though we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb, and called me by his grace,
Благослови. Не, Галат здесь ни
for
при
I
чем,
through the
видимо.
law am dead to the law, that I might live unto God.
Минус Галат. Коринфянам.
For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Жалко не указывается, что мы прочитали, блядь.
It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
6 паломников. Марк 6.
And so it was that, while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. Take heed that ye practice your justice before men, to be seen differently by them. Otherwise, ye shall have no reward of your Father, which is in heaven. Then they suborned men, which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God.
век.
And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note. It's been folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects.
Sarah.
I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
От Марка, да, идем.
And he became very hungry, and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that? Clearly, she must be trying to do something useful, but what? The nightmare. Does that remind me of anything?
Предмет.
Probably has to do with an object or something. Granting that this is the case, where might it be found? Yes, it's the painting that was behind Mortimer's study.
Да.
Well, let's see if Mortimer has anything to hide behind his painting. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Ну, записку нам все-таки дали вот эту. Аж запись Библии Гутенберга. Срочно нужно ходить. Первое должно глядеть наш кошмар. Все, я все сделал, я молодец. Может, в этикет войдем. Не, я хочу в языке. Оккультизм. Книгу хотим использовать допрос, эрудиция. Может быть, эрудиция. Политика, уклонение, этикет. Возьмем. Этикет тоже надо прокачивать потихонечку. Хотя у нас науки нету. Как это наука? У нас есть что-нибудь по науке? Не, у нас ничего нет по науке. Бдительность. Возьмем оккультизм.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
Малая гостиная, а где она?
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis? About last night, I'm guessing.
Sadly, no. Even if I'd like to have, alas. There are more pressing matters. I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
Must have been Emma I saw in my vision.
I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
Я не хочу выдавать матушку.
Mother's really killed her sister. I'd better find her by myself. They say they spent a lot of time together. They got along well.
Oh, really? Do you think your mother liked Duchess Hillsborough?
Of course she did. After all, she's your sister. Well, we'll find them, Emily. Trust me.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Emily, there's something else.
Go on then.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
Why would she do that?
I don't know, Louis, but I'll find out. You can count on that.
Okay.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emily.
Thank you, Louis. You're very kind. It means a lot to me. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
Да, придется.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see.
We'll speak about it later, somewhere safe.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
Не, ну, гребаная книга могла стать геймбрейкером.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia.
He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined.
What?
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh dear.
Oh, as if...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
If I remember rightly, what Mother told me one night, King Louis was secretly also part of the Order. I wonder what impact his death will have on us. Sad news, sir.
With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you, too. Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but
I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
To hear you speak, you seem to know my mother well.
Not really.
Уклонение, слабость. Все еще.
I'm on this very spot. Some weeks back. We had a very pleasant discussion. She's an exceptionally learned lady, with a good head for business. No need for me to tell you that.
I agree.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
Absolutely, but I was hoping that you could tell me more about it.
Well, she was planning to sell me a very old book. I will make no secret of the fact that I am passionate about the subject. And when Sarah spoke to me about it, her account literally had me enthralled. I can think of nothing else since. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
The least one can say is that he doesn't beat around the bush. Sarah never travels without a few books. What does the one you're looking for look like exactly?
It resembles a grimoire. It's divided into 7 parts, each one individually locked. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. It's a unique copy. There's only one.
The mere mention of it makes his face light up. Well, I'll take a closer look, but I can't promise you anything. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute.
Но это в этот раз не будет исключением.
To learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchardt in Paris. Do you know him?
I've never heard of him. I'm sorry. I haven't been much help to you.
Well, too bad.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Wollner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Wollner. You're the one who von Borchardt was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Это Мортимер. Это Мортимер.
It's Sir Gregory.
Correct. You ought to know then, he is not a man who likes to be duped. You are walking on thin ice, sir.
You better go and check out the painting in Lord Mortimer's study.
Может, мало гостиной есть какие-то штуки. Монеты мне не нужны бафы. Меца мне, пожалуйста.
Hey, Chronicles of the Amber Princess. There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest.
Есть 5 кругов. Блин, открыть ключ. Мама, у меня есть ключ от ключа. Ей, медиа.
No space left. I'll retrieve it later. I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Окей. А вот медиа. Я знаю, где у меня золотой эликсир. Ведь так мне отметили это на карте? Нет. Сюда нельзя выйти. Слушай, дай мне меца, братан.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
My good fellow, would you have any amber available?
I would, but unfortunately, I don't think I am authorized to give it out, sir. I believe it is a precious stone.
I still haven't quite recovered after that boat crossing. Would you happen to have any devil's thorn by any chance?
I am sorry, sir, but the devil's thorn may be just a plant, but it is also a powerful psychotropic drug that causes undesirable diuretic effects. I would advise against, sir, taking any.
Я знаю дозу.
You see, Tribulus cystoides is from the Zygophalaceae family, very rich in nitrates and potassium chloride. It was used in India 700 years before Christ, my good fellow, and I know nothing better to perk you up.
Oh, as sir wishes. Here is the herb, sir. May I help you in anything else, sir?
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
What's that book you're hiding in your jacket?
The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, sir. And I am not hiding it.
Hand it to me, please.
It is damaged, sir. I would never dare lend sir a book in such a pitiful state, sir. I took it to restore.
Indeed, this masterpiece must not become more damaged. Let me have it and I'll take care of it personally. I love antiquarian books.
Все, слуги полностью. Не только убеждение, регистр, логика, допрос.
It bothers me somewhat. It isn't sir's job to take care of it, really.
No, but I would love to. You'll be doing me a favor by letting me have it.
In that case, sir, I shall leave it in your care with pleasure. May I do anything else for sir?
A little Carmelite water would do me a lot of good. Could you find me some, please?
Oh, the tonics are under lock and key, sir. Lord Mortimer only allows access to them in cases of emergency.
У меня нет все еще навыка, ладно. Пока...
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course.
Да не хочу я, отстань от меня, отстань назад. Всем до свидания. Могу быть.
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms.
Пойдем в комнату лорда Мортимера. На 3-й этаж. Ой, Элизабет.
What do you want, Louis?
What do you think of our last guest?
Well, I never thought I would get the chance to meet that Hispanic Casanova in the flesh. His reputation is well known. The gentleman collects lovers, including, would you believe it, the Queen of Spain.
The Queen of Spain likes to indiscreetly say, the King, Godoy, and myself make up the Holy Trinity. The people have appropriately renamed them the Goat, the Ruffian, and the Whore.
I didn't see you being a mudslinger in your idle hours, I must say.
Emily, what can you tell me about the coming conference?
Sir Gregory and Lord Mortimer organize this kind of high society meeting every so often in order to consider the world situation.
But to what purpose?
Well, by bringing together the most influential people from the dominant nations of the modern world, they allow the mighty to discuss matters with calm clarity. There are precedents of armistices being signed at the end of these talks, you know. Talking while holding a glass of brandy makes things easier. You'll see. You're leaving me?
Unfortunately, I have things to do. Thank you again, madam.
Не сидик. Чем можно вернуться? Да, можно. Блин, вон янтарь.
Amber crystals. Amber.
Ремонт. У меня нету квадратиков. Что делать? Нам надо искать мед. Медеский.
Circe preparing wine. What better trap for Ulysses?
Это там, где мы ели, понял?
Circe turning Ulysses' companions back into humans.
Actress, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
A Bazant.
Медеский? Нет.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
Ладно. Мы сможем 2 раза ответить, не тратя очки действий.
A meeting between Louis XIV and Amber crystals.
Осколки янтаря.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
Да, я еще не смогу скрыть. О, книжка. Слесарное мастерство. О, медеский, наконец.
Honey, the remedy of the gods. A Chinese coin.
Монета, китайская монета.
A fragment of amber.
Янтарь. И еще 2. Точное название пронера. А, звание у меня меняется. Мальчик. Проныры. Хитрость 10 раз. Это будет 1000 время. Мне надо наверх. Фон Вёльнер. Балкон.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
Это ночной кошмар.
No, what have we got here?
Well, it looks like a model of a lock. As if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Let's take a closer look. Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society.
Шоколад.
No, what have we got here?
Мистер, полеть пешком касательно датировки картин, которые вы получили от меня на время выставки. Примите во внимание, что они входят в мою коллекцию и датированы по масонскому календарю АЛ. Как вы могли уже догадаться, вам следует вычесть 4000 из каждой даты, если вы не хотите привести посетителей в замешательство. Напоминаю, что масонское это числение начинается с марта, а не января. Что касается картины с Лонгином, я взял на себя смелость подправить копье, чтобы оно больше походило на настоящее. Настаиваю, чтобы вы поступили так же. Искренне ваш лорд Уильям Александр Мортимер, маркиз Вестфордшир.
Might come in handy. A painting about a siege dated. The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere.
Так, механизм. What the fuck? Успех.
Aha, I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
1792.
No, what have we got here? Painting depicting the Third Crusade. It's titled Winter Before the Fall of Saint-Jean.
Ну, они с матерью говорили про крестовые походы часто, так что...
The siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre was a major conflict during the Third Crusade. Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus fought to take the town back. It was the Crusaders' first operation to take back the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Hey, there are two dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5154 AL.
5154.
This painting isn't finished. It looks like Mortimer probably did it. History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again. The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi Bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years. The Crusades took place not long after the year 1000. Here all the dates say 5000 and something. I'm guessing this dating system begins 4,000 years before the calendar that we use. Yet, I'm getting the feeling that there's something else, another small detail, but what is it?
Не знаю, 1190. Один.
Open sesame.
Ого, какая большая потайная комната.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Murderer.
Медецкий.
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Tremor.
Милорд, если вы получили это письмо, мои дни сочтены, типография конфисковала конфисковали, а меня заточили в Шлиссельбургской крепости. Если вам удастся вмешаться и вызволить меня, я буду перед вами вечно долгом. В ближайшее время Екатерина закроет все ложи Золотого Ордена в Империи. Наше будущее представляется весьма мрачным. С надеждой на спасение, ваш друг Николай Новик.
Moreover, it shows a fair number of sea voyages being organized towards the American continent. No doubt with slaves. How many men are broken in this trade? Tens of thousands each year, according to what people say.
Лорд Мортимер, прошу вас убить. Президент Вашингтон не подписал закон о беглых рабах в нынешнем виде. Этот вопрос нужно решать на национальном уровне, а не в каждом штате в отдельности. Законопроект помог бы разрешить конфликт между Пенсильванией и Вирджинией. Подписав его, мы рискуем узаконить охоту за негров. Отличное склонение. Все больше людей отправляются на поиски беглых рабов. Никого они не находят и пищают первого попавшего негра, чтобы выдать его за сбежавшего раба. Напряжение в стране стремительно растет. Заранее благодарю за помощь. Ваш друг Джон Адамс. Передать привет моей дочери Элизабет. Интересно, меня забанят за это? Ты чё? Подарок доставлен. Тимур Шах Дурани, правитель Афганистана, Пежама, Синда, Мешхеба и Кашмира, скоро оставит престол. Как мы хотели, власть перейдет к его сыну Заману. После этого мы возобновим переговоры. Окей.
Some of those forces are pushing toward the west. On it, Mortimer's placed little feather symbols at different points, toward which the Spanish are headed. Could he be fueling Indian resistance to slow down Spain?
Дорогой друг, премного благодарен вам за помощь в борьбе с испанцами и возвращении Арана. Корабль, идущий во французский Марсель, зафрахтован. На его борту находится несколько тел погибших от чумы, которые свирепствуют в нашей стране. Будьте предельно осторожны с этими ящиками. Если их случайно откроют, чума может быстро охватить всю Францию. Мохаммед Эль-Кибир. Дорогой лорд Мортимер, вы помогли Китаю, сообщив важные сведения, и вас ждет вознаграждение. Чтобы Великобритания замыслила против нас, не переживайте, ее представитель мистер Маккартни во время своего визита ничего от нас не добьется. Ваш друг Санни Лун, император династии Цин.
Golden elixir. Consume without excess.
Уильям, не знаю, чего ты добиваешься, но отец выражает недовольство твоим влиянием на Европу. Россия собирается примкнуть к коалиции против твоей любимой Франции. Ты не сможешь долго сопротивляться. Прошу тебя, Уильям, не упрямься. Ты выносишь разлад в нашу семью. С любовью, твой брат. Грегори, наверное, я посещу твое собрание, но не считаешь ли ты, что сейчас не время его проводить?
Looks like a campaign is being prepared in France in favor of Italy. Could Mortimer have decided to finance a war?
Дорогой друг, благодарю вас за письмо и разделяю ваши опасения. Сожалею, что придется объявить войну. Иногда выхода из сложившейся ситуации я не вижу. И нового выхода из этой ситуации. Памятую о ваших словах, и я с тяжким сердцем отправляюсь на встречу с коалицией, которая выступает против вас. Надеюсь на сотрудничество в будущем. Георг, король Ганновера, Соединенного Королевства Великобритании и Ирландии. Как вы и просили, я собрал друзей, чтобы подписать предложенный вами договор. Отныне будет дать его батон узким соглашением. Если вы вспомните место, где впервые встретились с нами, то поймете, почему мы так назвали его. Предлагаю к письму список своих коллег. Леонард Бликер.
Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's.
Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been
Reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me.
Лорд Мортимер, тигр умирает. По вашей просьбе мы направили на Траванкор и перелезли в глотки всем англичанам, которые могли, но без помощи французов мои солдаты долго не продержатся. Вы прислали нам новые снаряды, но наши силы уже на исходе. Прошу, помогите. Типу Сахиб, правителя Майсура. Я думаю, что мы немножко еще поизучаем здесь. Бля, слишком много всяких предметов. Конечно, Мортимера... Не знаю, я больше не хочу.
Something strange about this table. The Little Surgeon's Perfect Collection.
Набор юрного устойчивость.
Preservation using formaldehyde. Just as disgusting as ever.
Коробка.
Looks like obsidian or onyx. Must weigh a ton. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably. A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by.
Лорд Мортимер, как вы и просили, я изменил ваш старый замок. Вдохновившись речью вашего друга, доктора Гильотена, я разработал новый замок и надеюсь, что вам понравится прототип. Замок не просто собрать, но он будет расположен прямо посередине двери. Цель добавить некую изюминку, не изменяя механизм. В зависимости от расположения колес, вышеупомянутый замок либо откроется, либо накажет тратившую веру шпиона. Я назвал свое изобретение испытанием веры, поскольку добродетельный человек не стал бы к нему приближаться. Надеюсь, вы оцените иронию. Гюстав Монтхэм, архитектор. Интересно, а можно было умереть, неправильно открыв дверь? Дорогой друг, кто возвышается над всеми олимпийцами, разумеется, никто иной, как владыка богов. В отличие от своего отца Кроноса, он был не только силен, но и мудр. Вместо того, чтобы бояться своих детей и братьев, он правил миром вместе с ними. Смертные боятся его молнии, он справедлив и могуч, но недостоин. Деспотичен. Не деспотичен.
That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages. An iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Лорд Мортимер, прошу вас не сомневаться в моей верности. План сработал. Крестьяне Ван Дэй готовят мятеж. Мои люди стараются усилить давление на народ. Учредительное собрание накалило обстановку, приняв закон о гражданском устройстве духовенства. Люди массово отвергают священников и клянутся в верности государству. Если национальный конвент и правда спровоцирует народное восстание, вопрос будет решен. Не смею вам указывать на массовый призыв на войну вдали от родины существенно усилит революционное настроение. Ваш верный слуга Франсуа Атанас Шарет де ла Контри.
Am I seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the order,
a chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire. Chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Дорогой друг, дела у нас идут просто великолепно. Мы приняли монетный акт и собираемся по вашему указанию основать первый американский банк, который, вероятно, получит название Union Bank. Строительство Белого дома начнется в октябре. Я прослежу, чтобы все было сделано в срок. Надеюсь на скорую встречу. Томас Джефферсон, государственный секретарь.
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long.
Ну, вроде бы все осмотрели. Все закрылось. Да, вроде бы все осмотрели. А, там закрыто, это типа выход. Второй. Посмотрите, посмотрим, осмелитесь ли вы встретить со мной тет-а-тет.
This is my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to?
Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is this stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time.
I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Oh, shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Как же выйти? Один. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Давай попробуем. Или нас разрежет пополам.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. It looks too easy. It could be a trap. It looks like the same as the one on the other side.
Ну, давайте попробуем.
Whoa. If the grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date, I'd better not mess up again. Yet I'm sure there's a connection with the date that I've entered earlier to open the door. Maybe I'm not approaching the problem from the right angle.
Честно, хер его знает. Давайте оставим это на потом. Я немножко притомился играть в The Console. Что-то как-то какая-то слишком жесткая головоломка. Я думал, кинцо будем смотреть, а здесь какие-то головоломки такие, на уровне которых, ну, я не готов решать. И сейчас думать. Тем более после 5 часов стрима. Что-то как-то вообще мозг разжижается. Все. Всем удачи, всем пока. Увидимся в скором времени. Не знаю, я, конечно, попытаюсь завтра пройти The Console, если будет возможность. Но если не пойдет, то переключимся на какие-то другие игры. Благо их достаточно. Все. Всем спокойной ночи. Всем пока.